That's just one of the most embarrassing conference championship games I've ever seen. I gotta bring up the whiteboard and show y'all this stat. I can't even believe this is a real stat line. This is the most embarrassing performance, not just out of one team, but both teams on the offensive side of the ball. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. Sometimes no words are words. Sometimes no response is a response. Let me ask you a question. Did you think, and you know what game I'm talking about. You know what game. Don't act brand new. You know what game I'm talking about. Come here, come here, come here. I want you to look me in my eyes when I say this. Did you think that was a top 4 team? Honestly, I would love to know your honest opinion. Me personally, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't just think they're not a top 4 team. I got them currently ranked number 8th. I've had Florida State, the Cinnamon Rolls, ranked number 8 since Jordan Travis went down. I don't even think it's debatable, guys. I really don't. What are we talking about? Seriously, I mean, what are we talking about? That was pitiful. And I got a bone to pick. Hold on. Jack Plummer, I don't say this a lot, but, you know, I really try not to, I guess you'd say, criticize players harshly, but I just got to come out and say, you suck, dude. You are awful. What are you doing, buddy? Okay, I just have to throw that out there. Jack Plummer is awful. As to how he's a starting Power 5 quarterback, blows my mind. Sure, you can sit up here all day long and say, Matt, well, Florida State's defense is good/great. And hey, I've been saying that all year long. They got a good/great defense. I have no problem saying that. But good gosh, I might Jack Plummer. Back-to-back 4th downs. Oh, camera wasn't focusing. Yeah, like I was saying, sorry. Back-to-back 4th downs. I don't have a problem if you throw incompletion. You took a sack. Buddy, it's 4th down. At least heave one up behind your head so you have a chance. If you take a sack, it doesn't matter if it's an interception. It's 4th down. That just, oh my God. And then sack after sack after sack after. Some of that's on the O-lineman. Some of it's on him. Throw the ball away. And then when he had open receivers, couldn't hit him. That guy's awful. That was one of, if not the worst quarterback performances I've ever seen in my life. And ironically enough, one of the other worst quarterback performances I've ever seen in my life happened in the same game. Brock Glenn was 8 for 21 with 55 passing yards. You think... Don't even get me started. Actually, I'm getting started. If you think that's a top 4 team, number 1, you're delusional. Number 2, you don't know ball. And number 3, I don't want to say it. If I say it, you know what? I'm just not going to say it. You can do what you want with your imagination. I'll just leave it at this. If you think that's a top 4 team, I'm talking about the Cinnamon Rolls, Florida State, much respect to them. And I hate it for them because you won every game. I know what your argument's going to be. Matt, we did what we were supposed to. Why my camera not focusing? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you did. You did what you're supposed to, okay? But I'm sorry. You're not one of the 4 best teams. You're not even, in my opinion, a top 7 team. Does anybody think Florida... How about this? Because Georgia's not getting in, right? Does anybody think Florida State is better than Georgia? I don't. How about this? Oregon. Does anybody think Florida State's better than Oregon? I don't. How about this? What's the other team? Ohio State. Does anybody think Florida State's better than little bro Ohio State? I don't. So you can take, if you want to say, Matt's got Bama bias, that's just a delusional statement. But if you want to throw that in there, cool. But I didn't even talk about Bama right there. I'm asking you a question. Do you think Florida State is better, I'm going to clip up, than, not Texas, than Oregon, Ohio State, and Georgia? No! You don't believe that. And even if you wanted to say you don't believe it for a split second, it sucks. I get it. You had a great year. You won all your games, but you're not the same team without Jordan Travis. We saw it against Florida last week. You barely skimmed by them. They were awful. It's a rival matchup. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. This week, I can't give you the benefit of the doubt. Louisville's awful. They lost to a bottom feeder in Kentucky. Can't harp on that enough. Kentucky's awful. Louisville, if they're in the SEC, I'm not even sold on the fact that they would have made a bowl game. I have a hard time believing they would have won 5 games. That's just one of the most embarrassing conference championship games I've ever seen. I got to bring up the whiteboard and show y'all this stat. I can't even believe this is a real stat line. This is the most embarrassing performance, not just out of one team, but both teams on the offensive side of the ball. Oh gosh, I didn't know I was that close to the camera. My apologies, guys. Take a look at this right here. Plummer. This guy's... I'll just leave it at this. He's awful, okay? 14 for 36. Don't even get me started. 111 passing yards, 0 touchdowns to 1 INT. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go on a ranting tangent. Brock Glenn, on the other hand. I mean, if you would have showed these stats to a Florida State fan before the game, and I'm asking my Florida State fans, I know you're going to be watching this video, what do you think the outcome would have been? There's no way many of you, maybe some of you, but there's no way most of y'all would have said, oh yeah, we probably would have won by 10 points. No way. 8 for 21, 55 yards. I get it, freshman quarterback, but to say he looked like a deer in headlights might be understating it. He looked like whatever 5 times that is. 5 deer in headlights. Man, oh man, it was an abysmal performance on the offensive side of the ball for Florida State and Louisville. Louisville was worse. As bad as Florida State was, Louisville was somehow, some way worse. It wasn't very good. Now, I will say this. Well, I'll clap it up to Florida State. Defense, great. Awesome. I think they got a playoff caliber defense. Unfortunately, the bad news is your star quarterback's out for the year, and I have to hold that against you. You'd be a fool not to. You just got to. You're not the same team, okay? I'm sorry. You're not the same team without Jordan Travis. And some people may try to say, oh, well, we'll be better once Rodemaker comes back. Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. I couldn't hold it in. If you honestly believe that you lost your mind, you might be a little bit better with Rodemaker, but you're not going to win a championship. You're this year's TCU if you get in. You shouldn't get in. Different video for a different day. I'll probably talk about that after this video. I'm just here to analyze this game. The only thing you can really say about this game is, hey, Florida State's defense was awesome. Outside of that, Louisville was abysmal. It was an embarrassing performance by them on offense, and same thing for Florida State. They broke off that one big run, but outside of that, nothing. And Louisville had opportunities. They blocked the punt. And what do you know? Intercept. Well, they had a touchdown. Guy drops it or gets knocked down. Great defensive play. But then, what do you know? Oh, Plummer, future DoorDash driver, by the way, throws the intercept right to him. Threw it right to him. It was a perfect pass. Just to the defender, not the offensive player. Don't get me rallied up on the Plummer, dude. I have yet to see a quarterback. I've never seen a quarterback play that bad. Ever. I was watching the game with my brother, and we were joking about it. Or, no, he actually asked me. He said, and this is how bad. I want you to think about this. My brother asked me in the middle of the game, so is Louisville playing with their backup quarterback too? That's how you know Plummer was awful. You got people out here thinking Louisville's playing with their backup quarterback or third-string quarterback. And I started joking about it, but in the third quarter, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be joking. Louisville probably should have switched to their backup quarterback. It literally could have been worse. Plummer played awful. That's the storyline of this game. Give credit to Florida State's defense. I'll do that. But you know what the conversation is. It's going to be every single comment. Florida State, Bama, who's better? To me, here's what it comes down to. And I'll get to this in just a second. Or, no, I'll get to this in the video after this. Do you want the 4 most deserving teams or best teams? Now, why this is controversial is because Bill Hancock, the commissioner of the CFP, has stated they don't care about records, or quote unquote, they don't care about records. We just want to get the 4 best teams, not the 4 most deserving teams. So it's going to come down to this. Do you want the best or deserving? You say you want the best. If you want the best, how do you watch this cinnamon roll team the past 2 weeks and say, you know what? That's the best team in the country. I mean, not the best team, but one of the 4 best teams. There's no way. It's actually a shame they're currently ranked 4th. Nobody, do you watch this video think Florida State would beat Oregon, Ohio State, or Texas? No, you don't, okay? I'm tired of this, oh, well, they won all their games argument. Okay, that's fine, but the playoffs not about deserving. It's about the best teams. Florida State, you won the game. Congrats on that. Congrats on the ACC championship, but I really can't congratulate y'all too much because Louisville's awful. They lost to Kentucky. Alabama beat Kentucky by 40, same thing. Kentucky's awful, too. They're a bottom feeder. You know what? After this video, come on back, like 45 minutes to an hour, I'm going to give you my playoff and who I think should be in. Let me know if that's down below. Right,